Because of the soul, which is in him, and which is alive as long as it is united to God, man is eternal, powerful, and holy. I am a pagan, so I have no soul. You do have it, but it has fallen into a state of lethargy. Wake it up to the truth and to life. Goodbye, Master. May justice conquer you. Goodbye. As you've seen, here also I had people listening to me, says Jesus to the disciples. Yes, but with the exception of the Romans, who will have understood you? They are barbarians. Who? All of them. Peace is with them, and they will remember me more than many others in Israel. Let us go to the house where they are offering us hospitality for our meal. Master, that woman is the same one who spoke to me on the day that you cured the sick man. I saw her and I recognized her, says John. You can see, therefore, that even here there was someone waiting for us. But you do not seem to be very happy about it. I will have accomplished a great deal when I succeed in persuading you that I've come not only for the Jews, but for all the peoples. And I have prepared you for them all. And I tell you, remember everything of your Master. There is no event, however trifling it may seem, that may not be a lesson for you one day during your apostolate. No one replies, and a sad smile of pity appears on Jesus' lips. I shall stop there because the rest of the chapter involves Maria Valtorta talking about her own thoughts. But I want to remark that this end of this segment that I've read, which has Jesus having a sad smile of pity, is because these men, as we see through the Gospels, they don't really understand, they don't want to understand that the Jews are not the exclusive recipients of the Messiah, his teachings and his benefits. This whole history of Israel is a preparation for a state of affairs whereby the whole human race can be brought in to the kingdom. The Jews were to be the tip of the spear in announcing the gospel to the world, in spreading it, and no doubt, had they accepted their Messiah, the plan A of God would have been fulfilled much more quickly than it has been. In fact, because a few 100,000 or a few million Jews going into the world, spreading the faith with a full understanding of the prophets who led up to that and a full understanding of the law, would have brought about the conversion of vast numbers of human beings long before the actual time it took for 12 men, or reduced to 11, until Matthias replaced Judas, and were able to go out and begin that process, but with a far smaller number of people. We see that an example of this slowness at the end of St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 28, I think verse 20. Jesus says, go out into the whole world, baptizing the nations in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And yet, we have in the Acts of the Apostles a resistance to accepting the nations into this new covenant. So we do find a blockheadedness amongst the apostles, and it's purely because of their culture. Abraham begins the Hebrew race about 1800 BC, 2000 BC. We have the kingdom established under David about 1000 BC. We have this sense of exclusiveness amongst the Jews from the time of Moses, which is about 1500 BC. So it's understandable that it's hard to break the crust of tradition that's around them. And it also helps us understand why Jews, many of them would not accept Jesus. But that's going against the prophecies which clearly show Jesus was the Messiah. And I've mentioned those before, and I'll no doubt mention them again. But here we have a reading which shows us that the Catholic faith, the Christian faith, is not a revolutionary movement in the sense of a political revolution. It is a slow-working social revolution because we have a complete change in an understanding of man, which comes about wherever the church goes. And even today, you can see that the view of human beings in the Christendom, or even in ex-Christendom, is quite different from that of other parts of the world. You've got, for example, modern Judaism, the traditional Jews under, say, for example, Rabbi Schneerson, Menachem Schneerson, I think that was his name. He died about 20 odd years ago. But he taught, and Lubavitchers, they had this huge and powerful political force based in New York, in the United States, and very influential in American politics. And Schneerson wrote that we Gentiles have kind of animal souls, but the Jews have a different kind of soul, and more from the spiritual realm, from a higher realm. So we're different kind of beings, although we have similar bodies, Schneerson said. If you doubt me, you can read Israel Shahak, I think it's Israel Shahak, about this issue. I can't remember the title of the book. I read it many years ago. I'm trying to think of it now. No, it's gone. But that's not just him. The whole attitude of rabbinic Judaism is really not one which sees them as anything other as a people who will stand above the Gentile world. And at the end of things, when their Messiah comes, they will be the masters of the world. For our benefit it will be, but it'll be good for us too, but they'll be the masters and we'll be beneath them. If you look outside of Judaism, you get to the next nearest religion to Christianity, which will be Islam. There you've got non-Muslims paying tribute to Muslims if they want to live. The traditions of the Muslims are that we should move to the side of the road whenever a Muslim is coming forward. And the penalties for Christian crimes against Muslims are much more severe than the penalties for Muslim crimes against Christians. And of course slavery is embedded in Islam. Although men like, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Jonathan something. Although that apologists for Islam will play this down. But of course Sharia law is everlasting. And if Islam were to become dominant, then strictly speaking they should reinstate slavery. Jonathan Brown is the name of the man. He produced a book about this. But really, slavery is only substantially abolished in Islam because of the force of the West. If that were to recede, it will come back. It's already there in slavery in Islam. I mentioned in Libya, Arabs enslaving Africans. There is, Mauritania only abolished slavery. North African Arab nation, Muslim nation, only abolished slavery in 1980. And I think Saudi Arabia only abolished slavery in 1985. So that kind of leaving it that late is a sign that really it's done under duress, done for appearances. So the revolutionary nature of Christianity is evident if you look at over 2,000 years of development. It didn't require St. Paul or St. Peter to say, we must abolish this and man the ramparts. It was simply the Holy Spirit working through Catholic civilization which brought this about. And of course, what were women in the Roman Empire? The possessions of their husbands. And they are the possession of their husbands in Islam. Their breast milk belongs to the husband for their children. And if there's a divorce, he takes the children. Once a child has gone above a certain young age. This is unknown in European Christianity or in any part of the world where Christianity has bedded down. Thus, this is a revolutionary religion in a sense, but not in the bloodletting sense.